We're back. Well, I am at least. Today we're going to be looking at the Tour Down Under. Google Hangout with none other than Neil Rogers. Get the latest stories in the cycling media. And this week I'm being joined by Martin Ashton, former world champion in mountain bike trials and, well, general mountain bike legend, to be honest. Get your foot off the sofa, please. So here we go, and it's straight over to the US. Hi Neil, thanks very much for taking the time to join us. There's been a lot of rumours in the press over the last few days about a possible confession from Lance Armstrong. What have you heard and what's your take on it?
That's a really good question. If you'd asked me Friday morning if I thought a Lance Armstrong confession was imminent, I would have said no. The last time I spoke with Armstrong was in July, and he said there would never, ever, ever be a confession. So the question is, what's changed? And I think a mountain of evidence assembled by USADA is what's changed. I don't think the Armstrong camp ever expected anyone to present so much evidence of doping with Armstrong and the U.S. Postal Team. I also don't think they anticipated the public perception to turn on him the way it has. And there are a lot of theories out there right now that this possible confession story that ran in the New York Times was actually the Armstrong team floating it out there, testing the waters to see what the public perception might be. There's no question that Armstrong is facing several lawsuits where he may be compelled to testify under oath. The alternative at that point would be to try to settle, and so perhaps the Armstrong team is trying to test the waters, see what the perception is to a possible confession, and then make the decision, do we go ahead, testify under oath and confess, or do we try to settle?
Thanks for your time, Neil, and if there's any more news comes up, it would be great to speak to you again.
All right, thank you.
Just around the corner now is the first World Tour event of the season, the Tour Down Under in Australia. Starting on the 22nd of January and running for 6 stages, this is now a key international event even for the non-Australian riders. In their latest January issue, Pro Cycling have run a 4-day feature on the event. Among the names to watch out for, Andre Greipel, an ex-winner riding for the Lotto Belisol team. He'll face competition from Marcel Kittel of Argos Shimano, Tyler Ferrara of Garmin Sharp and Mark Renshaw of the new team Blanco. Also, you should look out for Philippe Gilbert, the current world champion, and Simon Gerrans, who will return with his Orica Green Edge team to defend his 2012 title.
We couldn't go through the news today without mentioning the sad death of Burry Stander, who was killed when he was hit by a car whilst on a training ride. The popular South African was under-23 world champion in 2009 and was a rising star of the cross-country mountain bike scene.
Breaking news just in is that RCS Sport have not given the Katusha team a wildcard entry into this year's Giro d'Italia. The 3 remaining spaces have been given to Bardiani Valvole CSF Inox, Vinny Fantini Celitalia, plus Team Colombia. How many people does it take to do this news show?
You can't be trusted on your own.
All right. Well, in the news recently, a lot has been the UCI president, Pat McQuaid, and CyclingNews.com recently ran a story after he gave an interview to the Irish Examiner. He hit back at his critics, saying that they've been doing all that they can in the fight against doping and simply don't have the powers of search and phone tapping that the police do. We've also learnt that Mark Cavendish is due to make his season debut later on in January at the Tour de Jose in Argentina. We're looking forward to seeing him racing his brand new Omega Pharma Quick Step kit.
Now, roadie gear is not really my area of expertise. Well, it didn't used to be. But we've put together a comparison of the 2012 and 2013 kit designs so you can decide for yourself what's good, what's bad and what's plain ugly. And I'm just going to drop in here, that's on GCN, the Global Cycling Network. We like to do as we say, so the crew and team are taking on a new challenge this year, the Gran Fondo Stelvio Santini, which is very difficult and I need to get training.
Covering 2 of the most brutal yet beautiful climbs in the world, the Mortirolo and the Stelvio Pass. These ascents echo in the feats of riders such as Fausto Coppi and Marco Pantani. For only the second year, the Gran Fondo Stelvio Santini will allow you to test yourself against some of these legendarily tough climbs and follow in the pedal strokes of some of cycling's greatest ever icons.
That does sound good. Now, for all of you training hard in the southern hemisphere in glorious sunshine, you can hear the pangs of jealousy all around. We've got some how-to tutorials for you that can A, help you improve your tan, make you look even better if that's possible, and B, help you improve your bike skills.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll be back again soon.
In the meantime, don't forget to leave your comments just down here.
This has been the Global Cycling Network.
The what?
GCN?
The Global Cycling Network. Oh, yeah.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, the Global Cycling Network. Yeah, I've got it. Yeah. GCN.
Yeah.
Yeah.